Okay, so what if one of Japan's most sacred national treasures isn't what we think it is? We're going to dive into a really fascinating theory that suggests a hidden message, one that's been lost for centuries, has been hiding in plain sight, and it's not encoded in some complex symbols, but in simple, everyday sounds.
This right here is the seven-branched sword. It's this mysterious artifact from way back in the 4th century, and for the longest time, it's been seen as this diplomatic gift. A symbol of friendship between ancient Korea and Japan. But a radical new interpretation says, no, this sword was never a gift at all.
For centuries, the official story has been all about alliance and friendship. But if you look closer at the sword's inscription, a totally different power dynamic seems to emerge. This theory argues that the sword was actually a clear message of authority from the powerful Baekje kingdom in ancient Korea to a subordinate ruler in Wa, which we now know as Japan.
And look at this specific phrase that's etched right onto the blade. Show this to later generations. I mean, that doesn't really sound like a friendly suggestion, does it? The argument here is that this is a permanent order. It's a command from a superior to an inferior, designed to make sure that the authority of Baekje would never, ever be forgotten.
So if this sword is a symbol of command, where is it kept? Well, the location itself is the next huge piece of this puzzle. The sword is housed in Japan's Isonokami shrine, and believe me, its placement there seems anything but random.
Now, the Isonokami shrine is, well, it's unique. It's not really described as a typical place of worship. It's more like a national armory or a ritual center. Its most prized possession is, of course, our seven-branched sword, and the main deity they worship here is named Furu no Mitama, or just Furu for short.
And that right there brings us to the central question of this whole mystery. What in the world is the connection between a command sword from the Korean Baekje kingdom and a Japanese deity named Furu? I mean, on the surface, the link seems totally arbitrary, but this theory argues that the answer isn't in the history books, it's hidden in the sound of the words themselves. So, how do we connect these dots? Well, this theory proposes that there's this hidden history that can be unlocked if we just apply two simple linguistic rules. These are predictable ways that sounds change over time as languages evolve and as people move around.
Okay, so these are the keys to the whole code. First, the B sound often softens into an F or an H sound over time. A perfect example is the Korean word for fire, bull, which becomes he in Japanese. Second, hard consonants at the end of a word, like a K sound, often just get dropped. Now let's see what happens when we apply this code to our mystery.
And this is where it all clicks into place. The name of a really powerful Baekje seafaring clan, the Biryu clan, goes through that B to F shift and becomes Furu, the name of the deity. And the shrine's own name is Isonokami, which means on the rock, shows us that second rule. The Korean word for rock, suk, drops its final K and becomes Iso. All of a sudden, these random connections are crystal clear.
So with this linguistic code, we can suddenly do way more than just translate a name. We can start to trace the incredible journey of a people across centuries and across the sea, just by following the linguistic footprints they left behind.
This theory actually maps out a whole potential migration path. It follows this root sound asa, which means morning or east. It's a journey that starts in Asadal, the mythical capital of ancient Korea, moves through strongholds like Ansi, and is eventually carried by the Biryu clan all the way to Japan, where they set up a new home.
And get this, even the name of Japan's first great capital, Asuka, is seen as a linguistic fossil. This theory suggests it comes from the Korean Ansuk, a name that means a peaceful place to settle. You just apply that second rule, you drop the final K sound, and Ansuk becomes Asuka. It's like the final destination of their long journey, preserved forever in a name. But the sword is not the only secret hiding inside the Isonokami shrine. Oh no. There's another legendary collection of artifacts that makes this connection even deeper and adds a whole new layer to the mystery. We're talking about the 10 sacred treasures. This is a mythical collection of items believed to hold just immense divine power. And among their legendary abilities, the most profound one was the power to bring the dead back to life. So, the ancient ritual chant that was used to activate the power of these treasures, it begins with the words Furu be yura yura, which translates to Shake O Furu Shake. The name of the deity, Furu, is literally the key to unlocking the treasure's power. It ties this powerful revival ritual directly back to the name of the Biryu clan. So what does this all mean when we put all the pieces together?
You've got the sword as a command, the shrine's location, the sound code hidden in the names, and the chant for the sacred treasures. According to this theory, they aren't separate things at all.
Instead, they form what the source material calls a linguistic time capsule. And the idea here is that the entire shrine was basically a carefully constructed memorial. It was designed to preserve the history, the identity, and the authority of the migrated Biryu clan by encoding it into the very names and rituals of their new home.
There's a quote from one of the sources that just captures this whole profound story perfectly. It's not just about linguistics, you see. It's a story of migration, of power, and of preserving a heritage against the sands of time by hiding it in the one thing that could survive: sound itself.
Ultimately, this interpretation of the seven-branched sword really makes you wonder, if a history this complex can be encoded in just a few simple sound shifts, what other stories are just waiting out there to be decoded? Locked away not in archives or books, but in the echoes of ancient languages.